We begin with a fresh bout of political crisis in Rivers State as lawmakers advance impeachment moves against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Ngozi Odu, following a political fallout with his godfather and FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. Now, the lawmakers issued impeachment notice even as Fubara has reportedly traveled out of the country to brief President Bola Tinubu on the current power tussle rocking the state. Our reports say Fubara traveled alongside his unofficial chief of staff, Edison Ehi, aboard a Rivers State government-owned private jet in anticipation of meeting the president, who is currently on vacation in France. Now, political tension escalated in the state after the House of Assembly accused him of undermining legislative authority in the state, spending without budgetary approvals, among other accusations. Now, Rivers State elders, under the aegis of the Rivers Elders and Leadership Forum, as well as some civil society groups, have condemned the impeachment notice issued to Fubara and Odu. Now, to prevent the issue from degenerating into a full-blown political crisis again, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum has set up a reconciliation committee that's chaired by former Attorney General of the Federation, Chief Kanu Agabi SAN. Now, in a statement issued after a meeting of its Board of Trustees and National Executive Committee, Pandef noted that Rivers State occupies a strategic position not only in the Niger Delta but also in Nigeria's overall political stability and economic well-being, given its role in the oil and gas sector and its diverse population, including a sizable expatriate community. Now, the statement was jointly issued and signed by Pandef's top leadership, including King Alfred Diete Spiff, the Amayanabo of Tuombras, and co-chairman of the Board of Trustees, Obon Victor Atta, former governor of Akwa Ibom State, and co-chairman of the Board of Trustees, and Ambassador Godknows Igali, who's the national chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum. Now, the group urged all parties involved in the renewed political imbroglio to exercise restraint and embrace dialogue, tolerance, and mutual forbearance in the interest of peace and development. Now, for more on the political conflict in Rivers State and the role of elders, we have joining us now in the studio the national chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, Ambassador Godknows Igali. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, Ambassador Igali is a retired diplomat who served as an ambassador to the Scandinavian countries of Sweden, Denmark, and Norway under the
and Finland.
And Finland too, yes, under President Omar Yar'Adua's administration. He's also a former federal permanent secretary at the Ministry of Water Resources, one of those super PAMSECs. See, you were known then. Thank you so much for joining us. Well, Rivers' scenario now has brought about the need for leaders, elders to intervene. I mean, is there any way that your intervention through this reconciliatory committee can advance talks to bring about peace?
Okay, thank you very much for having me here and giving us an opportunity to say a few things. Let me begin by thanking Mr. President, who has shown great statesmanship in the efforts to have peace in Rivers State. Such political conflicts are not out of the normal. They happen all the time, and we see it all over the country. It's not only Rivers State that is in the eye of the storm. There are other states that similar incidences are going on. Some involving even some of the highest people in government with their governors. So it is, when we say Rivers State is because that of Rivers State has advanced to a stage where the Assembly has one or two times brought up this idea of impeachment. If not in some other states, it is even more ferocious. Now, Mr. President has tried to intervene, and successes were made. Pandef did not only do this as a standoff. We've done this before in the past. A committee was set up headed by Obon Victor Atta when this crisis was. Initially, we allowed elders of Rivers State to handle it. But you know, when these things happen within the family, people tend to point accusing fingers on each other. Oh, you are supporting this person, supporting that person.
Been a whole lot of interest.
We had to, the elders of Pandef had to come in. And the Obon Victor Atta and a very high-level committee, similar to this one, was set up. But unfortunately, it came a little bit too late. By the time the committee sat down to work, it actually met the two sides. And considerable progress was made. And we were at the threshold of arriving at a solution when state of emergency came about. The governor's coming back was a very good development for all of us, and we're all quite excited, and we had issued statements expressing our appreciation to the president for keeping faith with his commitment that after 6 months the state of emergency will be called off and the governor will come back and the assembly will come back. We watched with concern as we saw things deteriorating, and we were in contact with the two sides and gave them opportunity for them to address themselves to the issues. And we've seen that it is on a wrong cliff. Things are not getting better.
Yeah.
And that was why this committee has been set up. Very high level committee, I must say. And I'm sure the Nigerians are surprised that people of this level of pedigree will accept to serve in that capacity. These are very senior Nigerians who have served at the highest levels of responsibility. Mm-hmm. And they are people with impeccable reputation, and they've all accepted quite gladly. The president of Nigeria is a very busy man. We have all manner of issues. There are 36 states and the federal capital.
Yeah.
We have the National Assembly. We have so many other issues that the president has to attend to. So we from the region have to come in to help. And I believe that this is a very positive development because the president shouldn't be encumbered. I heard your intro saying the governor has flown even where the president is having a private working vacation to go and trouble him. These things shouldn't happen. There should be possibility for people, when these things happen at geopolitical levels, at sub-regional levels, to come together and solve the problem. In my place, in my language, we say that if there are no elders, if there are no fathers, then the people don't have an existence. So these are the fathers of the South-South, and they've agreed. So we will, on Monday they will be inaugurated. King Speed flew in this afternoon to perform the inauguration. Okay, it will be inaugurated in Abuja here? Yes, in Abuja, because a few of them, about 30, 40, 60% are here in Abuja. Okay. Others will come from outside Abuja. And after which they will go down to work and meet all sites. All right. I mean, a whole lot of people will say that Pandef may have had, some strong, support and ability to be able to intervene in such issues when we had people like Chief Edwin Clark still, alive. But even while he was still alive, I mean, he still had issues with people like Nyesom Wiki and all of that. Yes. And then they engage in, exchanges here and there. No, it did not exchange. But now, couldn't have. In this instance, do you think that Nyesom Wiki would want to subject himself to this panel? Kanu Agabi is the senior Nigerian
I think we should also understand the persona of Nyesom Wiki, Sibilaye Fubara, and Martin Amehule, the Speaker of the River State House of Assembly, and some of the members. Wike is an expressive person, and Nigerians tend to forget the fact that he's also a highly performing person. When you give him a responsibility, he carries it out to the best of his ability. But because he's hyper-expressive, sometimes that seems to diminish the positive values. And on the other hand, the governor is taciturn. He doesn't talk too much. So Chief Edwin Clark of blessed memory, when this issue started, initially didn't want to interfere with what was happening in the River State. And he allowed the process to go on. And at a stage, and let us not forget that it was while he was alive that the panel led by Obongata was constituted. Yes. And the myth that Nyesom Wike would not cooperate is not true. The two main people, elders on Nyesom Wike's side, are Chief Ferdinand Anabraba and OCJ, Chief OCJ Okocha, the former president of Nigeria Bar Station, senior advocate of Nigeria. And Obong Atta and his team went down to Port Harcourt and met, sat down. Chief Anabraba, who leads the team, prepared lunch in his house. They met and they had a whole day of discussion. The same thing the governor and his people had, another full day of discussion. So the belief that, oh, don't talk to Yeson Wike, will not listen to these people, is not totally true.
At least he still has
because
others.
Because when he met with when Chief Anabraba met with an OCG Okocha together, met with this team with some of the other younger people, they expressed the fact that the minister would have been there, but he couldn't be there because of other state commitments. So I don't think any set of younger Nigerian politicians or public officers, when you have people of the pedigree of Kano Agabi, people like Dr. Ndwese, who was a minister, a man of about 80 years, when you have people like Senator Domingo Obende, who was a very key figure in the Senate, you have people like Dr. Timi Agari, one of the most senior permanent secretaries that served this country. Yeah. You have Mike Ejiofor, who we all know was one of perhaps the best DG that the DSS never had. When you have those kind of people, they are not people you can bend. They will be able to sit down with you, listen to you, and advise. So I don't think that any young politician, any young public officer will want to not talk to such people and express his own point of view. The reason why conflicts occur is to advance a position. And sometimes the other side may not fully understand. So we must have people to intermediate, people to bring two sides together. And like I've said, the last time, they agreed. The same kinds of things were said, oh, they will not talk to you. Yes, the committee could not meet with the minister. And the people who spoke for him gave apologies that he couldn't be there.
Yeah, but you actually had...
Yes,
you heard from him that he gave them his mandate to
they
speak on his behalf.
They said, and if you look at the minister's visits to various parts of Rivers State, Chief Anabraba, who, by the way, is one of Nigeria's most respected private sector operators. I remember as far back as 1991, when I was in my... I've been around a little bit in my days when I was an economic diplomacy desk in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and President Babangida had to go to Germany, and he said we should take the two most prominent businessmen from every state to accompany him. When he got to Rivers State, which was Bayelsa Rivers at the time, with his own green pen, he wrote Fed Anabraba OCC. He wrote the names himself. He said, I know that environment because I've operated there. So he was a man who has a lot of reputation. So if he said himself that the minister sends his regards to your panel, unfortunately, he cannot be here today, and he has asked us to speak with you. And they gave their point of view. But like I said, it came a little bit late because state of emergency just got declared, and they couldn't proceed.
All right. Now, as Pandef national chairman, you would understand the differences between alleged constitutional violations and then issues that just have to do with politics. Now, the State House of Assembly is claiming that the Rivers State governor has breached the constitution in terms of budgetary approvals not being given, but he's spending the monies, and then alleged graft and misappropriation, all sort of words being used against himself and his deputy. Now, if Pandef is intervening, wouldn't it look like, you're trying to stop the State House of Assembly from performing its constitutional duties? Or do you think that all of these accusations are within the realm of politics?
Well, politics has a very wide bandwidth. And when political conflicts occur, you have to look into every area. You don't isolate some and say, no, this is a no-go area. You try to dig in like a hen that scratches the ground and bring up everything. By the time they sit down to dialogue, I believe that some of the gray areas, some of which may be as a result of not fully understanding things that have happened, things that are happening. The basic problem, which appears to be, is the fact that there's a break in communication. And when there's a conflict, there must be people that can conciliate. And when they conciliate, they listen to the two sides. And for people who are experienced, they will distill where the problem is. So I don't think that anybody wants to push anything under the table. If you talk to the governor, he may want to also raise issues of constitutionalism and claim constitutionalism. And the good thing is that lawyers are always very good in helping the society. But also lawyers, yes, in line with their profession, have to also look into areas where things have gone wrong, and they bring them up. So I don't think that these elders, many of whom have taken oath at various times to respect the constitution of this country, will see unconstitutional things and sweep it under the carpet. If there are issues that border on constitutionalism, they will be addressed. And also, as the saying goes, that it's good to hear every side of the story, because it's like a snake and a man problem. You are having a fear, this person will kill me. The other side too has a fear that this other one, this snake will bite me. So when people go in between, they can listen to the two sides and be able to make peace.
Yeah, but is Pandef a neutral arbiter in this?
Yes, of course.
Because, I mean,
you see,
okay, how much of neutral arbiter is Pandef?
Let me say this, and I listened to a young man, in fact, actually somebody, the last time, not now, one of the young men appeared on Arise with him on the, was it Arise? I think so. And he said, oh, we respect Ambassador Igali, but he's not from River State. You know, somebody said that kind of thing, and it was very cheeky. And the point is that, you see, Pandef is a mother body of the people of the South-South. We are like the equivalent of Afenifere, Arewa, and Ohanes and Igbo. I have had my good days in this country. I've served this country. And the people that we are calling have served this country at very top levels. We are very responsible people, and we cannot inflame any situation. It was sometimes also the insistence of constitutionalism that could be misinterpreted. When President Tinubu initially tried to broker a political solution, some people, including my departed father, felt that there were some constitutional issues that should be addressed. So Pandef is apolitical. Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury of belonging to a political party at this time, and so are many of our people, although we have a lot of members from every party.
Yeah.
So we don't have any reason why we should take any side on the matter. And if you know the caliber of people that we bring out to solve problems, I don't think maybe some of the younger people do not know Imam like Kanu Agabi. Yeah. It will be difficult to say Kanu Agabi, you went and you were dancing with Wike, or Kanu Agabi, you were not dancing with Fuara. No. And look at the other people that were picked for this matter. Yeah. Actually, this panel should have been a presidential panel. But we had to help the president of this country, who cannot be cumbered with this kind of things when we have elders in the house. And so some of those who think that Pandef may not be neutral and so on, what interest do I have? What will I gain? Can these people who are now maybe the minister of FCT or Fubara take care of my needs? I'm self-made. I have my reputation all over the world. So and the same thing with the people. Yeah. So we are more interested in managing the conflict. We're interested in bringing peace to the state. Pandef is a neutral body. We are apolitical, and we will take diligent and dispassionate positions to be able to try to help the country. See, River State technically somehow is the #1 oil state. Akwa Ibom, which has the highest production, is mostly offshore. But when you come to actual oil production, onshore, shallow waters, it is River State. River State, perhaps of all the states in this country, has the largest, maybe with exception to Abuja, where we have embassies, has the highest expatriate community who are working in the oil industry. So what happens in the state is critical to the economy of this country, actually to global energy security. So we cannot allow conflagration, we cannot allow disruptions in River State. It will affect the national economy. At a time we were doing 2 million barrels, 2.2 million barrels. Now we are doing 1.5. Our ambition now is to increase oil production in Niger Delta. So these distractions here, where there is political conflict, maybe there will be state of emergency again, maybe after some people are, if we have people demonstrating and all, we don't need all those things.
All right, very interesting perspective. As we try to wrap up the conversation, let's talk about how Pandef thinks it can bring peace to River State. Yeah. When President Tinubu himself has tried that, he has put in place a state of emergency, and that has not brought peace to River State. And I want you to listen to what Wike said during last week. when a member of the National Working Committee of the APC has said. He said, go and ask those who have tried it before. Don't take our support from Mr. President for granted. You have to be careful with the statements you make on Rivers State. Take the message to the National Secretary to leave Rivers State alone. He's saying that everybody should stay aside and allow him as a political godfather to solve this problem.
Nobody is a political godfather anywhere. Rivers State, the person who was a political godfather of Rivers State after the First Republic, Second Republic, was Melford Okilo. Where is he today? He's in his grave. Ada George was a staff of Okilo, a secretary to government, special advisor secretary of government. He was Okilo's boy. Today, Ada George later became governor. And Peter Odele, the golden governor, was the boy of Ada George as deputy governor. Where is Ada George today? He's an old man. He's still alive, shuttling between Nigeria and America. Peter Odele is today an old man in Port Harcourt, focusing on his university and helping to raise a new generation of doctors in Nigeria. Rotimi Amechi was there before. He's gone. You see, whether you take Rivers State or you take Bayelsa State or you take any state of the country, everybody will come and go. We're all birds of passage. Even when you are alive, you see that other people, younger people, will come and continue the stage. So Wike is not insinuating that Rivers State belongs to him. I think what he is saying is that people should not interfere in the state and they should allow the people of the state to handle the situations. But we from the South Side, we know all of them. These are our younger brothers. We've been with, look, my primary school was in Port Harcourt, St. Paul's Primary School, Port Harcourt, Federal Government College, Port Harcourt. I was a pioneer student at the University of Port Harcourt. I'm now in Bayelsa when the university before.
Of course,
so what I'm saying is that these people, the elders that were taken, are all from the South.
Yeah, but Wike is saying, stay away from it.
Wike
carry your hands into Rivers State.
Governor Wike,
if they burn, don't say
Governor Wike,
I didn't tell
Governor Wike will not say so.
Well, he actually said this. He says anything you see, you take it.
Let's not
so do you think that Pandef will withstand the pressure that will come from
my brother?
Wike? And Governor Fubara himself, shouldn't he actually, show some more level of tolerance?
Well, this is what Kanu Agabi and his committee will do. And I think I shouldn't be advancing that. But you see, when things are said during political rallies and so on, we don't take them in total value. Because sometimes in the spur of the moment, things are said. So Wike is not averse to solving any problem. And if you listen to some of his later statements, he has moderated his later statements to the fact that I'm ready for peace. So it is peace that we want in Rivers State because it is good for not just for the people of Rivers State who are the primary beneficiaries of peace, but the peace is good for all of the South. If you go to Port Harcourt, it is the capital. Nigeria has many smaller capitals. The same way Kaduna is a capital for the North, Rivers State, Port Harcourt is capital for all of us from the South. Right. So we believe that already, let me say this, I've gotten some responses from people from the two sides who are happy that, yes, let them come, we'll talk to them, we'll try to find a way. So I believe that the two sides are ready for peace. And from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, next week, the committee, these people, and I want to thank them, these are elderly people in their 80s and late 70s. They've served, they pay their dues, and now they volunteer to go and wade into this problem, and we'll get somewhere. We'll solve this problem once and for all.
All right. And of course, you can't push this away out of the political developments within Rivers State and, of course, Niger Delta. And some of the things that have been coming up is the agreement that were reached with Mr. President before the state of emergency, during the state of emergency, and all of that, and which the crux of all of it is that Governor Sim Fubara should not seek a second term, though he's constitutionally guaranteed. I mean, if elders like you are meeting, shouldn't, and such an issue comes up that a sitting governor who is constitutionally empowered to seek a second term is being asked not to seek a second term, I don't understand how elders like you would go through such a thing.
What you are saying is at the level of speculation.
Well, there's an agreement that was brought in place. Well, I mean, Wike has been saying that he will release the document pretty soon.
Wike expressed his personal views because of his disagreement with the governor.
But the governor hasn't denied that he wasn't asked not to seek a second term.
The governor has not come out to say, I was told to breach my constitutional rights and not to seek a second tenure. It has not been said. And we say some of you from the media should help us, because when you are like agent provocateur, when you bring up issues and you raise flame and say, this is the problem. Look, my brother, some of us, they say, those of us who have found ourselves in the corridors of power, they say we are supposed to, as civil servants, and particularly from the diplomatic system, they said we are to be seen and not to be heard. We hear politicians at the highest level say some things, and sometimes out of the spur of the moment.
Yeah.
So we will give these people the chance, and if there are things that have been agreed and will create a problem, I'm sure they will be able to take themselves back to the authorities. They'll
well,
say,
I'm very sure.
They'll say, we've noticed that this is the issue at stake. Perhaps we can variate it. Perhaps apologies can be made. Perhaps positions can be abridged, and let's see how we can cross over.
Well, that's why your elders.
They will have, yes, and they will have the capacity. The work they are going to do is not only for the consumption of Pandef. It will be for the consumption of the president himself. It will be for the consumption of the APC party. It will be for the consumption of any other people that will play a role in solving the problem. So if there are things that were decided that are a problem, if it is a clog in the wheel of progress, I'm sure they will advise on those issues.
I'm sure you would have heard some people also saying that Wike is trying to assert that if you go to Lagos State, yes, the governor is the one who seems to be in charge APC-wise, but the president is from that state, and so he needs to be given his respect, his protection as a leader of the APC Nigeria, and then coming from Lagos State. So in Rivers State, I mean, Wike having been someone who's, of great stature politically, though he's not in APC, but nonetheless, as a leader who has been in PDP, needs to be given his respect. I mean, as a leader, when you look at all of this, as elders, how will you advise people who advance this sort of political talk?
I said something.
They may not be in terms of age older, but for political positions that they've held, they should be given certain respect. I said
something earlier. Wike is a leader in Rivers State. Nobody can take that from him. He's a former governor. How many former governors does Rivers State have who are alive?
Well, this former governor is very strong. He's the former governor that controls two parties.
Because, well, I don't know that. I don't know if they belong to only one party. But you see, Wike is more expressive. That's the only difference. And if you go to some other states also, we have people sitting here in Abuja. If you push me too far, I can call names.
Well, I mean, Benue State is an example.
People who are in high positions in office.
Yeah, but go ahead and name them. Go ahead and name them.
Who are also playing such roles in Abuja here, and questioning that I put you there. Today you are challenging me. Who are you? This is politics. And when this politics, the vice president of the country, you call Benue, not me. It came out from your mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
the vice president was in Benue last week and said, oh, Governor, I will bring you and SGF together. This problem must be solved. So why do we take Rivers State as if Rivers State is unusual?
Well, there are other states. Has 600 billion there that other states keeps talking about.
There are other
that
states.
The governor has to play around with.
There's a powerful minister who is sitting here, and then his governor and him, every day they are talking, they are investing. So these things happen. And the difference, the Rivers State case has reached a point where twice or even 3 times they've tried to impeach. Then president came in. This time, President Tinubu, you have a lot of work to do. Insecurity, the economy, youth employment, so many things. So let us allow other people, some of whom are also, some of the people in this committee are also very senior members of APC. Yeah. Senator Domingo is a national working committee member of APC. And they have access to the president too, and to the national chairman. And while some other people are from other expressions. So let them be able to listen and also advise government and advise all of us on what to do. If it is people like me who appear here to talk once in a while that are the pro, they will advise us.
All right.
So if it is the media, they will advise you, and we know who to call if it is arise that is the problem.
All right, just before I let you go, Ambassador, I mean, you are being very diplomatic here, and I understand that's your field.
Am I being diplomatic? I'm being as expressive as I can,
all right,
without getting into doing the work of the committee.
Into hot waters.
You know, the committee has a work to do. You see, when you do mediation, when you do reconciliation, you don't take over the job of the conciliators and the mediators. You don't come to raise issues which they will want to go and listen to. We don't also take issues from the newspapers, from the social media. These days, social media says a lot of things that do not reflect the real position. So I wouldn't be able to say it until the committee goes there. And when the attack committee went the last time, there were things that they were told that was never in the media. So unfortunately, when we came back from state of emergency, everybody thought all was well. But now it has come up. And then when they go back, they will know what is going on.
All right, very quickly before I let you go, Pandef, how is Pandef rallying around people from the South South ahead of the 2027 general election? Because we'll soon have presidential candidates knocking at your door, both from the opposition and the governing party, the president himself, and all of that. So how are you rallying people from the South South?
No, we are very conscious. We've been telling our people what is critical are the interests of the South South. Who are those who reflect our interests? It's not even a matter of party, because in Nigeria we are party neutral. We're technically party neutral. People can swim from one party to another party today. In the evening, they are back to the former party. So it is what interests do they represent. We have critical issues that affect the South, the environment. Our environment, according to UNEP, is the most despoiled environment in the world. There's no other place in the world that the environment is damaged like the Niger Delta environment. Who are those interested in critical environmental? Who are those interested in ensuring that we have a rightful place in this country? The oil industry itself, to what extent are we being carried along? Look at the state of infrastructure. Yes, some things have been done. Who are those who look at Mr. President's track record? He has done some good things. There are also areas that we're looking at. For example, you have said now the NPA says port activities, the eastern ports, which are moribund, should be given lifeline again. We're looking at some of those things. We asked the president that we're not happy with the level of our representation in the oil and gas sector. And some changes have been made. We're looking at it. Other candidates too. They're already talking, and we're listening to all of them. When the time reaches, people may not know. We may not speak one language in the South, but we have a pecking order.
Okay.
When it is time to talk, we toe one line.
All right.
And they will see the line we are going to take.
Very interesting perspective there, Ambassador Godknows Igali, but I don't envy your committee. I mean, because if someone can say that carrying your hands to River State, if they burn, don't say, I burnt it.
He never said to us. He never said to us.
I can only imagine.
He was saying that, I don't know too, but not to us from the South. So this
is what he says. I can challenge anybody. This state is a no-go area.
No.
And Pandef wants to make it a go area.
No, what do you mean? Is River State not Pandef?
Well, I mean, it's within Pandef. It's a different ballgame this time around.
Minister Wike himself is Pandef.
Well, I've never seen him attending your meetings.
No, he's somebody in government, so he's not going to attend our meetings. So everybody from the South is Pandef.
Yeah,
so he didn't say Pandef should not come. He knows those he's talking about.
Yeah.
And that is why we don't want people that may not be considered as part of the Pandef enclave to want to be involved in the kitchen this time.
All right. I mean, we must thank you so much for setting up this panel, because, I mean, if you do this successsually, it will be to the benefit of the nation.
It will be a great success.
Then we can say that for those who have seen in the committee, they're actually looking very neutral. I mean, I've known Ambassador, I've known former PAMSEC Timi Agari for long. Yes. I mean, she's such a very good toughest woman.
President
some of the best minds that Nigeria has ever produced.
Used to call her the woman in labor.
Yeah,
because she was the person that could keep the labor unions in check.
I mean, so they are good in arbitration, and then of course we have
conflict
Kanu
management.
Agabi. Can only hope that you succeed in this adventure. But we must thank you so much. Ambassador Godknows Igali is the national chairman of the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, and we thank you for all your efforts that you put in place to try to ensure that the South-South is a safe place for Nigeria to continue to mine its oil from there, and then of course for all the people to benefit from the oil that comes in there. And then of course to keep the Niger Delta safe politically too.